in technology. I beg this one.
Who told you?
Thank you, Chris.
Who told you? No, media. I want to believe they live everywhere. I'm one of those who take water and just pour the water and drink it. Yes. Every 5 a.m. we wake up to pray. Hey, yeah, some more. Well, Director, I have a question for you. See, I even forgot a question. Yeah. What day were you born? I thought that was a question. Yeah.
You know, handsome guys are always on Monday, so I mean.
Okay, so thank you very much for the update from Startups, and we really appreciate all the great information that was given. I was listening to it from my my phone, so thank you very much, producer. Thank you very much for taking him off too. Actually, handsome people don't turn their cameras off. Director, why is your camera off? All right.
Yeah, that's it.
Layoni, welcome once again to the Showtime with Startups, and we are very, very pleased to have you and excited to have you again. To talk about Diaspora first, since we've already elapsed enough time, waiting on you with my microphone, my what is it called? This is microphone. What is this? Whatever this is called. Whatever producer put in my ear, now coming and all that stuff. So we're gonna go straight to the point. Yes, you may share your PowerPoint and let us know. Walk us through the process of leaving the diaspora. Okay. Whether being in Europe, whether being in North America, whether being South America, any part of the world, even whether being living in Nigeria to go to Ghana, it's still the diaspora. That is if you're a Ghanaian living in Nigeria or you're Nigerian living in Ghana, trying to relocate back to your country of origin, whatever it is. Yes. Walk us through how to relocate back to Africa. I mean, we still can relocate within Africa to Africa, Joe. Walk us through that process. But before we start, what day were you born?
Me?
Yes.
I was born on a Friday.
Friday. So you have been ushered a Ghanaian name as of today. Stamped, sealed, and certified. Yay. Highly authenticated. You are Ifia. So lawyer Ifia Oni.
Yes, so.
Please walk us through the process. And we, the Friday Bonds, are very proud of you. It's rather unfortunate the show is on Monday. So let's say we, the Friday Bonds, we do the show for the Mondays.
Yes.
And the rest of the days are just, supporting us to make this a beautiful one. All right. Walk us through the rest of the time. The rest of the 1 hour is yours. Make sure you just give us some time so that people can ask questions. We Ghanaians and we Africans, we always have questions to ask. And we also have our friends in the diaspora, like our friends, our white friends, or our Caucasian friends, our African American friends, our Caribbean friends watching and listening to us right now. And they will have some beautiful, questions for you. So please give us some time and allow some time for questions so that we can take it from there.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much, Doc. Thank you, everyone at Tap Sun, and thank you for those that are joining tonight. Today's conversation is going to be rather interesting. This is not how do I bring my family, how do I bring my friends to the United States, but rather this is how do I consider opportunities outside of America? How do I consider going back to Africa? And it's not something that we talk enough, but the truth of the matter is the way that the tides are turning, people are really considering going to the motherland. Now, this is whether you are originally from Africa or if you've never been at all. So today's conversation is going to be a fun one. It's going to be relaxed and it's an interactive one. I want people to be able to type their comments, to be able to, raise their hands, and we will be able to talk along as we start this conversation. So, why are people even considering the move of going to Africa? We know that right now, the way that the economy is, the way that the political climate is, there is a strong desire to look outside of the four walls of the United States. Now, whether you voted for the person in power or you did not, no one can deny that right now it is a bit contentious. And also the way that things are moving, people are considering, what about other opportunities outside of the United States, and why not Africa? This is a very interesting conversation and an interesting thought because it's not just African, For some of us, it's a nostalgic idea, it's an identity, it's a desire to reconnect back to culture and heritage and a sense of belonging. But for some others, it is more of a curiosity. It is also a question of where do I belong to? So the wanting to move is not the same for everyone, but what is the most important thing? It is your preparation. Choosing the right country, choosing the right region is so critical because Africa is not a monolith. It is an experience depending on who you are. And so each country has its own different immigration rules, its calls, its culture, its infrastructure, its cultural expectation. So it's very important to be honest, one, on your reason of going, and also to be open and see which region is the best for me based on what I desire and what I want. So I wanted to really talk honestly. So this is not going to be a fantasy. It's not going to be a dream of, oh, I want to just go back. But it's also going to be a reality check. So for example, let's start with what most people want to talk about, which is the moolah. I just want to pause. Doc, I do have a PowerPoint presentation I'm going through. I want to share, or I can just continue the conversation.
No, you can go ahead and do it. This is your time.
Okay.
Go ahead and share the PowerPoint.
Okay, no problem. And while I'm doing that, if you do have a question, you can feel free to okay. So let's start again. Okay. So before I jump into the money, I just want to catch up in terms of the PowerPoint presentation. So who is this conversation for? This conversation is for, as I said before, the diaspora, individuals and families. It's for entrepreneurs, it's for investors, it's for professionals, it's for people that want to explore Africa. It's also for institutions, nonprofit organizations, all of these different sectors. It's important to know which one that you belong to, because knowing and understanding which pillar you belong to will help you in terms of gaining clarity so that you understand why you're going and it's not just hype. As I talked about earlier, why people move. Most people want to move again due to economic and political pressure. The cost of living in the United States is so expensive. Greener pasture, as I mentioned, identity and nostalgia, a sense of belonging back, and also social media. You know, right now, Africa is hot. When you think of Afrobeats, when you think of food, people want to know what is popping on the motherland. But as I said before, the desires will get you interested, but the planning is what is going to make it a reality and make it stable. So social media is not life, my people. I want you to please understand this. I get so many people that end up either in Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, and then after the dirty December, they're like, oh my goodness, I didn't come with enough money. I have no more savings. I didn't know it was so much traffic in this region. The dust is too much. I'm asthmatic. So it's very important to understand that social media is just a clip. It's just a glimpse of reality. And also, every successful move requires strategy. That's why it's important to look things through, because there's so many success stories, but there's not a clear path as to how these people got there. As I mentioned, choosing the right country. I know for the majority of the people on the call, Ghana will be number one. And Ghana is still a very viable region to start off with. Each country has its different immigration rules, as I said, infrastructure, expectations. I think for those of us who are African continental descendants, there's an advantage, of course. Let's say your parents even if you were born in the United States or you came to the United States at a young age, you still have some kind of understanding of the region where you come from, whether that's Ghana, whether that's Nigeria, Benin, Togo, Kenya. So it's a little bit different in the sense of someone, let's say, if you're African American, or if you are a Caribbean descendant, or even if you're non-Black, it may be completely different. But at the same time, I have found that it's not just a default. If you're a Ghanaian American, you may go to Ghana and you realize, you know what, Ghana is really not for me. So again, it is important to be open to choosing the right country. And when you're looking at the region, there's so many things you will consider. For example, the cost. For example, the kind of things you want to do. If you're in Kenya, you can be extremely active. You have the safari, you can climb mountains. Kenya is very into outdoor activity. It is beautiful with mountains, very mountainous and green. You can go hiking on the weekends. That is very different than if you're in Lagos. If you're in Lagos, if you're in Nigeria, for example, there are certain regions that you can or cannot go to due to security. You will end up in the restaurants for your leisure for the most part. You know, are you someone who likes to dine and wine? You know, so these are all reasons to know the country that you actually want to go to. If you're someone who likes to be by the water, maybe Tanzania might be the best fit for you. Maybe Ghana, maybe you might want to go to Cape Coast versus being in Tema, versus being in Accra. You know, maybe you want to consider Sierra Leone. So there's so many things to really think about, and not just by default say, I'm going to go to my country of origin. I want to stop because I don't want to talk to myself as I'm going. Please feel free to drop your questions. And if I see it, Doc, you can interrupt me and I can answer a question as I continue with the PowerPoint. How is that? Is that okay?
Oh yeah, sure. We can do that. If you want to give it a pause, I can read a little comments over here from the comment section and see which one applies for the meantime.
Okay.
Then we'll proceed. Because I think we have 22 messages right now. Well, this is from Mary. Mary says, I'm a Mamie for a proud Friday born. Thank you, Mary. It's all Friday, you know. Today's Monday, but let's pretend today's Friday. So, and iPhone 17 Pro Max says, iPhone 17 Pro Max, I like the way the name is there. And she still typed iPhone 17 Pro Max is if wow, please. Hey, Friday to the world. Siedu's iPhone is giving, you know, good. I don't know if this is thumb. No, this is not thumbs up. Whatever this is the Trump sign. I like that. Liz is also giving thumbs up. Siedu and Peggy, Zoom user. Yes, we can hear. Oh, that's when you guys were trying to figure out if you can hear me good. Ohima says, I had that problem transferring money. Okay, that's when the director was speaking. Mary is laughing. Oh, my prayer warriors, Equia J and Liz. God bless you guys. I can't thank you guys enough. And director also dropped the link to the group page, so please join. I heard him explain the different links that we have and what they represent. Please do that. Mary and Peggy or prayer warriors. Kunle. I presume you're a Nigerian, right? Is that a Nigerian name?
Yes, it's a Nigerian name.
Yes, that's my Nigeria prayer tower. Don't mess around. We will take you by fire, by force. And N comes in to say, dear speaker, AGCG. So the AGCG stands for Africa Global Consultancy Group.
Yeah.
So that's what the AGC stands for. It says, may I ask, in which country are you based as your home base? That's a very good question. So that's one to you, AGCG.
Yeah.
Dear AGCG.
I am based in the United States and I am bicontinental. I have been fortunate to have traveled to over 20 African countries. I am a Pan-African, so I have residence in different locations.
You're a Pan-African, huh?
Yes, I am.
Well, in order for the Pan-African is from Ghana to give you your Pan-African card in Ghana, mention 2 Pan-African leaders you know from Ghana.
Oh, we have to go with Kwame Nkrumah.
That's the number 1.
Then
I know what he's gonna say. Starts with a B.
No, I'm actually gonna say, even though he was not Ghanaian, I want to say Marcus Garvey because he was buried in Ghana.
But lawyer, you just missed the question. We said from Ghana. La.
Let me see. I want to say Busia, even though
I knew you were going to say that. All right, producer also dropped the link.
Okay,
the link to HITV platform. So make sure that you click on that and join. Olu Jacobs. I don't know if his last name is Olu Jacobs. I just said Olu Jacobs because I saw Olu, and the next thing that came to mind was Olu Jacobs. If you know, you know. This is for not for the Gen Zs watching movies right now. I'm talking about the baby boomers and the millennials. Says, is there a link for AGCG?
Yes, there is. I'm going to provide all the information.
Okay. All right. At this point, can you please proceed with the presentation? And once another question pops up, I will ask for you.
Okay, thank you so much. So now going back to the reality, as I said, every region has its own flair, and it's important to know why you're going. And it's also important to really test the waters. I am an advocate for two types of travel, the tourist and the resident. Sometimes you might say, I want to go to Africa. That doesn't necessarily mean that you want to pick up and just relocate to Africa. You might just want to say, let me do a 2-month tour. Let me do a 3-month tour, or let me relocate for 1 year, 5 years. It depends. So I think it's important to test the waters. You can go as a tourist, you can go for a short term, or you can go as a resident and that's a long-term adjustment. Each one has its own ups and downs. So it's also important to know which one it is that you want to get out of it. Is this something that you want to stay for a very, very long time? Now, the testing the waters, as I mentioned before, is specifically test before you invest. So many scary stories have happened of people, for example, I'm going to use Ghana. You go to Ghana and you just purchase land. This doesn't happen to just non-continental Africans. This happens to a lot of people. You go and you want to just buy land. Let's say you want to buy land in Aburi, or you want to buy land in Accra, Achimota, wherever, and you just purchase land without actually going and seeing it. I would definitely not advise to do that. I think it's important to just go for a short time. You might want to consider renting before you buy that land and start building the house. Those of us that maybe from family, you may have ancestral land, etc. If you're going back, the family land doesn't necessarily mean that it's your land. So again, it's important to do some research and understand the systems, and you can only really do that by going to see it first. So testing the waters before you just jump into the ocean. Now I want to really talk about money. There's this misconception that if you go to Africa, and I say Africa as a whole continent, with just $200, you're gonna live like a king. And that's not necessarily true. We do know that it is much cheaper in terms of cost of living. Here, I use some statistics, when it compares it to the United States or even the UK, but it's still quite expensive in Africa now. I'm sure some of you can test that even in Accra, the cost of living has gone up significantly in buying house, in renting. So I think it's important to know that Africa is just not automatically cheap. It's important to have some stream of income before you go and do this leap, so that you don't run out of money and then you do not run into deficits. How do people actually make money? It is very difficult to go to Africa, whether it's Togo, Zambia, Tanzania, Kenya, and then you start making local currency and you think that you will live well, unless you're making a now 1%, which is rare. So it's important to think about, how do I go back home? Am I going to go with a consultation business? Am I going to do some kind of teaching? What is the service that I'm going to provide? Definitely a remote position, if you are going as an employed person, would be the best way. If you want employment, I will strongly suggest to go looking with a remote position, either from the United States or wherever you're watching from, into this African nation that you want to relocate to. Another area is consulting. What is the skill set that I have? Can I do, administrative tasks? Is it possible for me to be someone's bookkeeper with strong internet from wherever I'm sitting in on the continent? What kind of service can I teach English? Can I teach math? Can I do tutoring online? Can I write for people? Can I ghost write for individuals? Can I consult in other areas? For those of you that do telehealth, maybe psych, for example, psych, that's also an area you can consider if you're a health worker. But consider what kind of consulting service that I can provide. Also, you want to also look at local and side businesses. Again, I would not jump in automatically and say, I'm going to now start producing palm oil on 300 acres of land. You want to just kind of go into it gradually. What I noticed that some people like to do is having either a fleet of cars that do, for example, transportation services. That's a way to start off with. Another area is mobile services. People also do POS. You get a whole bunch of POS, you distribute it, and then the money is coming back to you. Businesses such as food, businesses such as clothing. Maybe you go into jewelry. Maybe you're providing a particular niche area, maybe baking. It may not seem so big, but with time, you can build that capital. Also having multiple streams of income. Do you own a property in the United States? Do you have a multifamily home? Maybe from your rent, you can use that rent to be able to live outside of the country. So I think that the income and flexibility is very important to think, how do I go back and is it possible? Just know that it is possible. So many people get discouraged when they actually want to relocate, but it's just a matter of thinking it through and looking at the skill sets you have, the opportunities you have, and seeing how you can do it. There's also the last option of actually getting a job abroad, maybe that pays very well or pays in hard currency through nonprofit organizations and also through private institutions. That might take a bit longer because you might go through the process unless you know people, as people might say. But just know that there are ways you can make money. People are making money with streaming, providing content on YouTube, on TikTok, and that residual income, whether it's $1,000 a month, $2,000 a month, is able to sustain them as they pretty much carry people along on their journey on the continents. This is just a breakdown in terms of real expenses versus expenses here in the United States. The reason why, as we all know, it's easier to live on a continent and it's cheaper because definitely rent tends to be so much cheaper. But in as much as rent is cheaper, please understand that if you are relocating, most times the landlord is going to want 1, 2 to even 3 years rent up front. So that's another area to be aware of. Groceries is going to be much cheaper because you always have fresher food at your availability. Transportation can be costly if you're relying solely on Uber. But if you are looking into eventually buying a vehicle or even having a driver that comes with the vehicle, you can be able to plan those kind of arrangements out. Utilities are not going to be the same. It's going to be much cheaper unless you're in a very high fuel country such as Nigeria, where you may not always have electricity. So you're going to be using fuel. You'll be using diesel to charge, for your generator. So these are just things to budget as you're getting ready for this move.
Do you want to take these questions before you proceed to the next slide?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So this is from Kay. Kay says, in as much as you need to make proper planning, especially when you are planning to migrate permanently, Africa is cheaper when you live in the diaspora. Yes, okay, I get it. Just the post. Africa is cheaper when you live in the diaspora.
Yes, it is.
I kind of understood it as if you're living in the diaspora, Africa is cheaper for you. But then try to put it compare both. I have only been in the state for 4 years. I sent about $200 from my first paycheck home, and it amounted to my gross paycheck of about 3,000 cities. The exchange rate is our friend.
It's our
Thanks,
friend.
thanks, Startup Sen.
Yes.
So this was a contribution. Okay.
So,
K is a funny one.
mhm.
I was following the story like it was a scenario-based story. Didn't know it was actually an add-on. That's good. I like that. So this is from N, and it says Accra is listed as one of the top 5 most expensive cities. If that is true, what is your opinion and advice for both immigrants and non-immigrants on how can impact their planning and on how it can impact their planning?
That's an excellent question. Before I answer that, are there any more?
No, that's it for now.
Okay, so I'll answer that and then I'll continue with the presentation. Definitely, Accra is very expensive now. As I've said early in the presentation, one of the reasons why it's very expensive is because the cost of rent has gone up significantly because you do have people returning, whether they're African Americans, Caribbean, people of the diaspora, Ghanaian descendants, or even other African nationals are entering into Accra. Accra is Lagos in Nigeria, but Lagos has a larger population than the whole country of Ghana. I just want you to put that in perspective. So that just shows you that there's not a lot of land. That is also why things are becoming so much more expensive. So one of the things I will advise is to look outside of Accra. People are finding opportunities outside of the major cities. And remember, you also don't necessarily want to leave a big city such as New York City. You're leaving DC, you're leaving Houston, you're leaving Texas, you're leaving some of these big urban areas to now go and struggle in another urban area. So you might want to explore other cities outside of Accra. I know Tama has always been one that people are looking at, but I've noticed that as of late, people are even going as far up as the northern part of Ghana to reside by Cape Coast and other areas. There's so many different, and there's extensions and extensions and extensions. So I would consider looking outside of Accra. Some people are also looking outside of Ghana as a whole, looking at the Gambia, for example, which is a lot less in terms of cost, and it's still an Anglophone, English-speaking country. So there are always alternatives, and you can always visit if that's the case, if you don't necessarily mind. But if you do want to live in Ghana, I would say looking outside of Accra due to the cost of living, or increasing your income so that you can stay in Accra. Looking at opportunities where you can own, and where you live, you have tenants that will cover your rent. So there are other ways in which you can work it out. And of course, if you do want to talk more, I'm happy to have a consultation with you as well. I want to just continue.
Go ahead. Then I'll bring the other questions later.
Okay, in terms of systems and hidden costs, again, as much as the currency does work for us and does work for people, it is very easy to go broke if you do not plan because of the hidden costs on the continents of Africa. And I want to say all the countries. There's always unexpected fees. There's always something you didn't plan for. There's always an emergency, whether it's your own emergency or someone else's emergency. And remember, we come from a communal environment where people are not shy to ask you for help. It's not like here in the United States, for example, where we have a much more nuclear setup, is mother, husband, children, even cousins. People are not always that close to their family members. Once you're going back to the continent, just know that you are joining someone's village. whether you're from there or not. So there's always that communal setting. And so therefore people will feel free to ask you for assistance. And depending on your heart posture, you might find it difficult to decline helping others, which might go into your pockets very quickly. Another thing too is, remember that the continent is a cash-based system. We're not working on credit cards like here in the United States. You can use credit cards, as long as you have good credit and you live in on credit cards. That's not the same, as many of us know, when you're back on the continent. So that's another hidden cost. If you have an emergency, and here you can use a credit card there, you will put the deposit down. As many of us know, even in the hospitals, if you have an emergency, you need to go to the hospital, you might have to put a deposit down before the doctor can even see you and give you critical care. So these are some of the costs that do surprise people when they are relocating in the first 6 months to 3 months of their time, and even a year. And then, of course, there's scams. It's not as the United States or Europe, where there are different types of policies in place, which is also why people love to go back. But it has its downside. And then you have bureaucratic delays due to the structure of the country, the systems, and the way things are post-colonialism. So these are just some things to be aware of. As I said, confusion is expensive. And unfortunately, there are a lot of people who are living in confusion on the continent. So please be wise. Day-to-day life, power, internet reliability, backup plans, generators, data bundles, transportation, traffic, healthcare challenges. These are all conditions. They're not necessarily a huge challenge, but they're things to be aware of as you are relocating, because very quickly the dream disappears. The romance will end very fast when you are in traffic for 5 hours and you haven't moved an inch. So these are just things to be aware of and have it in the back of your mind, so you really know, as I said earlier, am I going as a resident or am I just going to go as a tourist? And both are fine. Culture and identity. I've been talking about this throughout, but I'm going to just kind of settle here a bit. There is a cultural shock for people, even for many who are, let's say you're Ghanaian American. You can go to Ghana and they may say, you're not, bless you, they may say, you're not Ghanaian enough. You're too Americanized. So the reverse that maybe you experience here in the United States can happen to you on the continent. The same thing goes with people who may not even be of Ghanaian descent or who may not be African continental. Maybe you're from Jamaica originally, or maybe you're African American from the United States. So all these things are definitely going to be cultural shock. Even if you are from another African country and you're considering another country outside of your descendant, your lineage, it may still be a culture shock. So it's important to go with humility. It is very important to go with an open mind, so that despite the culture shock that you're going to feel, remember that it is a natural thing and you will get through the emotion. You will start to feel more at home, but understand that identity will shift once you are back home, depending on where you are. You may even be a Nigerian in Ghana, and then you might feel like, oh, I don't belong. Or you might be a South African in Kenya, and you might feel like I don't belong. So culture will change as you relocate as well. Relationships and belonging. It is so important to not isolate yourself when you relocate. Many people get into, because of the culture shock, they might now drift and just stay on their own. But it's important to continue to immerse yourself and understand the people, the land that you are. When it comes to dating and marriage norms, it will differ according to culture. There are African Americans, for example, who relocated to Ghana they've married Ghanaians, and they will talk about their own experience, understanding the culture, maybe having language barriers, maybe having to understand that there's certain expectations in gender. When I am on the continent, and I say that freely because I've been to different countries, that was the first time for me that I was aware of my gender. Because as a woman, I was much more conscious of where I went to because of danger and safety. So that's another thing to be aware of. Someone that's relocating as a man may have different types of experiences or may not have to worry about certain things like a woman would who may be going as a single person or even with a family. So it's also important to know that there are different expectations. You might be walking during the day, or you might find that your night strolls that you love to do at 8 p.m., you may not be able to do it because you might be the only woman outside. So these are things to be aware of. But I would say that definitely developing relationships will help you so much. Understand though that people are parasites. You want to use discernment and you do not want to be used. But at the same time, it is important to try your best to immerse yourself in the community that you choose to go to. Now, okay, I can stop. Yes.
All right. Let me go ahead and throw in some questions. So this is coming from, Simeon says, don't live in Accra. That's a boom. Manav said, things are very expensive and tough, but I think a partnership could make things work initially in terms of investment. I've been looking to partner with some friends up here in Canada to invest out there. It makes it cheaper in instances.
Yeah.
And Papa Law says, try Namibia. It's lovely. Okay.
Yes, Namibia is.
And Kay comes in to say, if credits come tomorrow. I don't know what he means by that.
Science, small, like stores.
Oh, yeah, but the tomorrow never comes. Those little convenience shops that have the written on it. I think usually at the entrance or on top of the shop.
Yes.
For credits come tomorrow. And you go back the next day, you still can't credit anything. You have to pay everything cash. All right. So please click on the HRETV link as well, and also the Friends of Tatasen link, so that we can have a great conversation going on. And says, kindly elaborate on any consideration if relocating to Africa depends on age group. Very good question. Yeah. Then after that, you can proceed with your next slides.
Oh, yes. Thank you so much for that. And I'm so happy people feel engaged. Definitely, age is a huge factor. It's a huge consideration. I love that question so much because it depends on what you want out of the experience. So, for example, let's say that you are someone who is much further in years. Let's say maybe you're in your late 60s, or let's say that you are in your 70s and you want to relocate. There's this desire, for example, for some of our parents to go home. But the truth is, what is your health like? Your health is very critical, because as much as it is amazing to be on the continent and there's also advantages, there's the reality, the hard conversation. And one of the hard conversations is that when it comes to healthcare, it may not be its best. You may not have the best healthcare in the country that you choose to go to. And that's something that is universal across the continent. Due to so many things such as brain drain, people are looking for, better opportunities. So many doctors have left. And then the remaining that are there can be extremely expensive. So if you are someone that is older, do you have a critical illness? Do you have an illness that is something that you have to attend to daily? For example, are you a dialysis patient? You might reconsider. If you have to do dialysis 3 times a week, you might reconsider. These are all things that you will consider depending on your age. For example, if you're a younger person, let's say that you are within the age of 20 and even 50. Are you looking to get married? Do you want to have children? Where are you comfortable having your children on the continent? Or do you want to come back here? What kind of businesses are you looking to do? Are you looking to expand your education? Or are you done with your education? So definitely your age group will determine the experience you have. It also might determine the longevity in which you stay. From my experience, I have seen that those that are actually really picking up and relocating are millennials as well as Gen Y. So you have people who are from 28 to about 45 right now. And then you have another set of group who are from 46 to about 50 something thereabout before 60. That's the group that I see that is really, actually taking that move. You do have the Gen Z, but that is more of curiosity, that's a December turn up. But in terms of actually relocating, that is the group that I see the most that people are actually doing it. So in terms of the hard conversations, let us always be honest. Not every move is successful. I'm sure many people have heard horror stories of people relocating and wondering, why did I do this to myself? So you have to understand that if you quote unquote fail, it is part of the process. There really is no failure because the relocation is a long-term thing. You might go 2026, come back 2028, decide to rest, go back, in 2030. That is how this thing goes. So understand that mistakes can happen, but the mistake is also part of the learning journey. Now, where I am here is to help you avoid costly mistakes. So the costly mistakes is, for example, your life, your health, large amounts of money. And that you can do by just having a strategic conversation about what it is and where you want to go to. So at this point, I'm going to end. There is a lot to talk about, but I do not want to feel like I'm lecturing you. I will pause and I can take your questions. And I look forward to continuing this conversation as we move forward. Thank you.
All right, all right. Thank you very much, Lawyer Ifya Oni. Thank you very much. You have demonstrated great in-depth knowledge
Thank you,
on.
Nana.
Please, my fellow. This is not fellow Ghanaians, but fellow viewers. Can you please show some love in the comment section? Um, Thank you very much for such a great, demonstration of the big move to Africa. Let me take this opportunity to talk about the show that will be coming up very soon. We're going to break the ice on that. Like I said, we're looking at doing this once a month, taking, the overview that she just talked about. We're going to take maybe investment. Then she's going to come with another resource person who is maybe deep in investment and in terms of real estate. Then we're going to have some panelists, one or two panelists on the show as well. So it's going to be like about 4 of us on the show, and we're going to talk about it and see how best we can go back and invest. And you always know the best way to invest in Ghana, the best way to relocate back to Ghana. And when you are back home, your family can send money back to you through TapTapSend, whether you like it or not. That is the best way to send money back home. And also, we can't move back to Ghana. If we're talking about TapTapSend, then we talk about relocating back to Africa. So if we're going to relocate, then it's only worthy that we show you the best medium to send money that you're going to be using for this business back home. Again, it's legit. It's not any money laundering, none of that, because at the end of the day, you're using the appropriate channel to send money back home, and it's validated. So say less on that. Please keep bringing in your questions because we have good 30 minutes for all these questions to run through. So please keep bringing your questions, and we're going to ask them for you. And like I said, this show will be starting off hopefully next month. We're going to be dealing with the one topic per week, per month. And as it keep elapsing, it's a bunch of them. When we sat down and we talked about these topics, man, it blew my mind. Number of things that we can actually do in Africa, and some of the things that we have to do right before heading back home and not making a mistake that our predecessors did, but rather walk in with the blueprint and just emulate everything that has been done already. So that is great approach, and I'm happy that African Global Consultancy Group is bringing this on board for us to see how it will unfold. So those of you who joined the HITV platform, producer has been talking about the panelists, and I know a couple people talked about investment. So who knows? We might start with the investment topic first, or who knows? We're going to talk about why you need to move to Africa, and the big move, and just talk about it. So let's go read some questions. After that, if you want to talk, if you really want to talk, put your emoji app, your hands emoji, and I will get you muted so that you can talk. But let's go to the first question. Drum roll. All right. So Ms. Liz is showing you nothing but love emojis. And Sophia Oleka, is that Nigerian name?
It's possible.
It's possible. Okay. That sounds like Igbo to me. Oh, that would be Yoruba. Okay. And she said thanks. And Kunle Timothy is also showing, big hearts. Nana Ban says great insight. And Papa Law is just showing this emoji. I never know when there's a smiling face with loves all over the place, smiling with love. Let's give it smiling with love. I don't know. I'm not good at emojis.
Giggling.
Oh, giggling. Producer, the Gen Zs, they memorized this back in the school. Like, whilst we were doing history and tradition, they were learning emojis, and Producer says he's heading to 60 years, right?
I want to also just jump in there, Doc, and say something. First of all,
Yes.
I really do appreciate this platform and HRTV, as well as just everyone that's on the call right now. I think the challenge I've seen is that for us, people who are either first or second generation Africans or even recent immigrants, it's the disease I call I too know. My fellow Nigerians will understand. I'm sure Ghanaians, I too know.
Is it the same as what we call tuno?
Yes, it is literally the same thing.
Okay.
And that can actually really hurt you when you're going back. Because the thing is, whenever you leave a location, things change. It's like the same thing. Let's say you leave a state and you come back after 3 years, 5 years, let alone a whole nother country. So it's important to still plan, and people have extra help because you have siblings, you have family. For some people that have still a relationship with those back in their country of origin or lineage, but it is still important to know that you have your own desire. You may be from Kumasi, but you don't want to go back and stay in Kumasi. So you might even want to say, I'm going to Namibia or Tanzania. This is where I want to lay my head. So just be open-minded and understand that the opportunities are limitless, but it's important to know and have a plan.
All right. Good point.
Yes.
Last year, I was doing a project in Ghana, and this guy who's never been in Ghana for like 6 years was trying to advise me on how not to trust people. And I'm like, okay. And after 20 minutes of talk, I'm pretty sure the guy walked away thinking he gave me some great advice. And I was like, if I listen to people like this, I would never amount to anything. So you're right. You've been out of the country for 6 years. You want to advise somebody who goes at least twice a year. Thank you very much. You have a great point. Veronica says, this was a great session. Covered many of my questions. Wow. Veronica has no question for you. Evelyn G says, wow, you only just need white next to it just to make it. That one is Ellen G White. I misspoke. That was a great presentation. Thank you. And it says, excellent answers. Thanks, ma'am. And our crack says, thank you. Thanks. Sophia Olika says, Igbo, okay. You are Igbo, right?
Yes, I am.
Okay, you said that so
Yay.
proudly.
Igbo to the world. But we're all African.
Igbo Kweno.
Yay.
How do you respond to that? Igbo Kweno.
Hey.
Hey. Is it? Why do you guys say hey? I don't think you got it right. I think you just making up stuff.
No, that's how it goes.
Igbo Kweno.
Hey.
Is the way she did it with a deep voice. Igbo Kweno. She's like, hey. What does that mean? What does Kweno mean? Family?
It's kind of like
A slang?
Yes, it's
Oh.
like agree. Like
It's also like you would say, Nana Mufe ye mbra. Okay, got you. And it says, would you kindly elaborate on the option of retirement in Ghana? And that was one of your topics that you sent to me. I saw that too.
Yes.
Retirement in Ghana. Can you still receive U.S. pension if you relocate to Ghana after retirement? What laws should we consider, pros and cons? As a lawyer and as the founder of AGCG, can you please elaborate a little bit on retiring here and going to live in Ghana and getting your pension?
Yeah, that's a great question. Many parents, people that are not even necessarily senior citizens in our African eyes. Senior citizen for us is, for Africans, let's say it's like 18, is when you're about 80 years old. So yes, people have retired and they're receiving their pension. So in terms of the pros and cons, you just want to make sure that, let's say that bank account that you have is easily accessible. You're able to access your US account from Nigeria, from Ghana, from Kenya, wherever you are. Because as simple as that might sound, that has been a big issue for people in terms of accessibility. Maybe you're going to another country and you're not able to actually log in to your account. Maybe that country is blocked, but of course those things can be solved with like VPN. But yes, you can definitely receive your US pension, Social Security, as long, for example, if you're a US citizen, you've worked up until retirement age, no one is stopping you from relocating to another country where you choose to retire and receive your pension. But one thing I would say is your healthcare will be a big issue. That's definitely a big practical concern, because at that time, if you're receiving pension, then you're most likely of a certain age. So, just Medicare in general, are you doing your routine checkup in Ghana, or do you want to go back to the US to do your routine checkup? These are some things that you might want to consider. Maybe look at a private international insurance if you want to stay in Ghana versus paying out of pocket, because things such as insurance, that you're also entitled to may not be covered in Ghana. But definitely, when it comes to the pension, that is not a big issue in terms of receiving pension while you're in Ghana.
There's a funny question from Anne. Anne says, she said, all my questions are great questions. So does that qualify for a TATAPSEN discount or award? That will come from the TATAPSEN directors. And I don't know if the director told you that. So this is what I'll tell you. When 7:30 hits, please stay on the line on the Zoom call and ask director that question. At that time, she'll be gone. I don't know how that will qualify for it. But Veronica comes and says, Namibia, I was about to say Zambia. Zimbabwe. Are these feasible countries to consider? Thank you. That's a good question. Hey, please, I need to stop saying good question before somebody else calls for an award. But that's a great question. Go ahead.
So what was the question, if Namibia is a good place to consider?
Namibia and Zimbabwe.
I love Namibia. When I went to Victoria Falls, I had such a wonderful time. It's a beautiful, beautiful country. So peaceful. Funny enough, a lot of Asians, Palestinians, Pakistanians are in Namibia. So I definitely would recommend Namibia. It is booming in terms of infrastructure, in terms of real estate. There's so many Asian companies developing estates in Namibia. So it tends to be one of the top countries that people like to go to for peace and security, including Ghana, Kenya, Tanzania, the Gambia. Namibia is there as well, Kenya. So yes, I would definitely recommend Namibia.
Okay. All right. I don't see any hands up. Can you please share the consultation link that people can reach out and schedule one-on-one with you to talk about relocating back home,
Sure.
as well as if there's a number they can call
Yes, sir.
and basically schedule some time to talk to you as well.
Yes, I will do that right now. And the person that had the question about the pension as well, the only
Yes, yes, yes.
that would come to mind is also possibly the taxes, like you having to continue to file your taxes. So that might be a consideration as well. But again,
Oh, I had a question for you on that one.
mm,
Can people go to the embassies and take their paycheck, or it doesn't work like that?
I don't think that works that way.
When I was when I was a young kid, I always thought that my uncles and aunties who relocated back to Ghana were going to the embassy to take their paycheck. I'm surprised why I never asked them if they really did. But yeah, that was just my thought.
Someone wrote
Simeon says Gambia, dear. Ghana is at war with them.
oh,
No, it's not Gambia. It's not Gambia. It's Zambia. Zambia is the one that we have a little beef with about
okay.
our president's outfit. So our president wore this Batakari outfit to the country, and they said it was a blouse for women. And it's
Oh
it's
my
so
goodness.
ironically, right? Gambia's outfit is more or less like a dressy type of outfit that has like what we call the full dress that
Yeah.
women will put on, kind of like maternity. Sometimes we call it maternity in Ghana. Like it's kind of like a flare. Some of them is a little bit tight too. They wear that. Anyway, talk about President wore a female blouse to their country, which was actually a traditional warrior outfit that has a good rich history behind it. So as for Gambia, I call Gambia the second Ghana because Gambia kind of have similar laws
Yes.
and rules with Ghana.
Yes.
But
Yes.
Zambia right now, we you know how we are beefing Nigeria with Jollof. We are beefing
Is there
Zambia
a competition though? I didn't know there was one.
for what? The
For
Jollof?
the jollof rice.
No, it's not competition because when there's a winner and there's somebody behind, there's no competition. It's only competition when we are two fighting. So
Exactly.
Kule and Olu and the rest, I love you to death, but when it comes to Jollof, we'll have problems. Ghana Jollof all the way. Forget about what Aisha Speed said, the one that he was giving. He's just one person who misrepresented us. So, did you put a link in for
Yes, I'll
us?
put it in the link now.
Okay. Whilst you're doing that, I also say please take opportunity to join our WhatsApp chat room. We have the HRTV chat room where we discuss topics. And again, if you want to be part of the panelists who want to come on the topics or the shows for moving back to Ghana or the big move, please join the HRTV. And we have the Friends of Tartupson link where if you have any issues, any concerns with your app, we can address that for you and make sure that that is solely like startups and conversations, anything that you have going on. See, if you don't want this, then I'll pay because now you don't have to wait to call customer service. The ambassadors, the lead is already there. On top of that, 7:30, Uncle Jimmy is gonna roll us into the next segment, which is Tartupson Focus, where any issues and concerns they are every Monday, vocally, verbally, you get to have some solutions to it. Matter of fact, I've seen and witnessed people's situations get resolved right on the call. So please, those of you watching us on Facebook, YouTube, and all other parts of the social media handles, please join us on the Zoom account come 7:30 if you're not already on the Zoom, so that you can have that because that Startups and Focus only happens on Zoom and not on live session. All right. So we have some messages that I need to read for you. Director Danny is A class in today. I rate Ghana Jollof. Kule, if God don't bless you, I don't understand. Make God bless you, the honor your family, your generation upon generation. Kule is my guy.
I will leave that for now. But if you reach out, okay,
You want me to tell everybody what you told me back door about Ghana Jollof? So you might want to say public. Yeah, you want to say public before I let you out.
You know, the thing is, I love jollof rice. Now, Ghana versus Nigeria, the winner is Senegal. I'm so sorry.
Okay, yeah.
I'm so start.
That I'm not gonna argue. So we're not talking about the first position. We're talking about the second and third position. You know what I'm
The
saying?
second position will definitely have to go to Nigeria and then Ghana.
Okay. On this note, we can't hear you. We can't hear you. I think we're breaking up right now. We can't hear you. So the number. Okay. I think this is more important to what she just said. Please disregard what she said. If we have AI editing live, would have probably let the AI taking out what you just said previously. So, in order to reach out to lawyer Ifya Oni, it's Africa Global Consultancy Group. The contact number is 646-438-3362. Are these numbers on WhatsApp?
Yes, they are. So you can WhatsApp me and then we can also chat.
Okay, beautiful. And you can also do that at 833-242-4020.
Drop the email.
Okay.
Well.
And she's dropping an email. This is from DA. If you retire and relocate to Ghana, you can open a bank account in Ghana and provide your account details to Social Security Administration and let them know that you are relocating to Ghana, and they will be sending your Social Security checks to your account in Ghana. Booyah! Technology making the world a global village.
Yeah, exactly. Because there's no restriction on there's not a requirement. You work for the money. So
DA, I'm pretty sure you were born on Friday. God bless you. Okay. And the link to AGCG is on it. African Global Consultancy Group. Dot AHMIISAYS.com. And the email address is hello@africaglobalconsultancy.com. Please call, test, shoot an email, jump on the link, the website, and schedule some consultancy for more detailed stuff. Again, like I said, starting next month, you will hear and see some good stuff coming on this platform. On this note, if there's no more questions, I'm going to call upon, let me check on my YouTube people before they tell me that I always forget about them. All right. Okay. YouTube said they're good. All the questions have been asked. And I want to say, please, Director Dunny, if you don't mind signing out our sister for us.
Our sister lawyer, we thank you very much. I mean,
thank you so much.
You are actually pushing us all to Africa, and we can't thank you much for that. Thank you. I hope we see you again.
But Director Dunny, if she doesn't push us to Africa, how are we gonna send money to Africa? If I don't go, how will you send me money to Africa?
So because you go and
no. I said it first. I am going. So you send me the money. Let's see if it's working.
I think you are rushing too much. I said you go and I'll look your back for you.
No. I knew what you were going to say. That's why I stopped you. Don't look my back for me. Send the money, come.
Yeah.
If you are in Europe, I can't send it to you. If you are in America, I can't send it to you. Go back home.
That's what I'm saying. I'm going. So send me the money.
No, if you go there and the sun starts scorching you, I will send you. Why not? I mean, she's teaching us the way we are not going to even depend on anybody. You can make it. So you know what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. When it comes to sending money,
thank you very much for a wonderful evening and the depth of knowledge that you shared with us.
So much. I do appreciate it. Thank you. And like Doc said, as we move forward, this will be an opportunity for people to ask questions. We'll have guests, real examples, and it's not going to be biased to a particular region. And I would encourage everyone, not everyone necessarily will relocate or move. And, people have children. We'll also talk about healthcare, children, raising kids. There's so many factors. Everyone's situation is different. But I think from learning, you might realize, okay, maybe there's an opportunity there for me, even if I don't necessarily physically relocate. I can relocate some of my funds and let it work for me. So on that note, I want to say thank you all so much. Have a fantastic evening.
Oh, don't leave too fast. Grace Asante iPhone said, I just saved the contact, but it says the number is not on WhatsApp. Sometimes you have to, restart your phone for you to pick it up. It happens to me all the time.
But you can also send me a text as well, and I will get it, please.
Okay. And Galaxy says, hi, dear. Please, is there a fee for the consultation?
Yes, there is a fee, but as I wrote there, it's a favorable one. And like the last one, I will always give a reduced amount because you're coming from tap send. So once you reach out via text or email, you can let me know. Yes.
Okay. Oh, you already put it in the chat. Okay, good. Grace, I will contact you. Okay, you guys already had that. All right, thank you very much for coming, and God bless you. God bless your time. We want to say thank you so much for being an honorable member of this awesome, sequential programs right here on HRTV, Time with Startups, and hope to see you very soon.
Yes, thank you. Everyone have an amazing 2026 ahead, and take care. God bless. Thank you.
Take care. Be
Bye-bye.
careful with the code. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is where we draw the curtains when it comes to the live segments of Time with Startups and right here on HITV. I am your host, Dr. Pico OFORI-ASENSO, and I'm with my producers, both home and at large. And I want to say thanks so much to our producers. I want to also thank you so much wherever you're watching us from or listen to us from, because some of you are at work and cannot really watch us, but do listen to us. I want to say we do appreciate you guys and your unconditional patrons or patronage is never under deserved or underlooked, and we are so grateful for how much you've been with us all this while. And with your systemic or naturalistic vibe of being with us all the time, give us the zeal and enthusiasm to actually keep thinking about new ways to make this program exciting and also more lucrative and also educative and entertaining for you. With that being said, I want to say thank you so much for whatever you guys do for us, and whether you like it or not, you're part of the family. So let's build this together. And I want to say thanks so much to startups and managers and also administrators for giving us the opportunity to actually spread the word to the message, the word to the world. And next week, same time, same day, right here on HITV, we will meet you and talk to you again. At this point, I want to say God bless you, a good night, and see you. Bye-bye.